Hello everyone! After Adam and Eve were banished from paradise, 3 sons were born to them, Cain, Abel, and Seth. Out of envy, Cain killed Abel and fled to the east. There, he was sheltered by a group of fallen angels who called themselves the Watchers. These huge stone creatures helped Cain create an industrial civilization that was built on immorality and evil. Only the descendants of Seth stood against it, defending the divine covenants. 5 generations later, Seth's descendant, Noah, undergoes a ritual of initiation into manhood. His father Lamech wraps a family heirloom, the skin of the tempting serpent, around his hand. The man recounts how God placed the earth in Adam's care.
It's your work now, your responsibility.
But they don't manage to finish the ritual. Cain's men are approaching. The father tells Noah to hide as he goes out against the crowd. Their leader wants to mine Sohar here, which is used as energy for his city. Lamech insists that this is the Creator's land and cannot be dug on. The man responds by slapping Lamech in the face. God hasn't helped them, and people are starving to death. The leader, however, will do anything for the survival of his people. He tears the snake skin off Lamech's hand and massacres him with an axe. Noah runs home in fear. Many years later, Noah, along with his sons, Shem and Hem, are gathering resources in a field. Hem notices a pretty flower and plucks it. His father explains that this flower hasn't yet fulfilled its purpose. It needed to grow in order for other flowers to sprout from its seeds. Noah instructs him to take only the essentials from nature. At that moment, a single raindrop falls from a clear sky. A flower magically grows from it. Noah sees this as a sign and calls his sons to leave. Suddenly, a dog-like creature runs past them. Noah orders the boys to hide while he searches for the arrow-wounded animal. However, there's nothing he can do to help it. The animal is dying. 3 hunters appear and threaten Noah. The man stealthily removes the arrowhead from the dog's body and skillfully defends himself. He takes the spear away from one of the attackers and deals with the others. Noah then burns the bodies using Sohar. He explains to his sons that the hunters wanted to eat the animal to become stronger, but the real strength is given to them by the Creator. Everyone returns home and Noah kisses his wife Name and his youngest son Japheth. Before going to bed, he tells his wife about the flower from the raindrop. The woman advises him to think about it later and simply rest for now. Noah closes his eyes and dreams of waking up alone at the foot of a mountain. The black, lifeless ground beneath his feet is soaked with blood. The man calls his grandfather's name, Methuselah, and a small flower grows in front of him again. When Noah lifts his head, he's already underwater. People are screaming and drowning around him as the man tries to make his way to the surface. Noah wakes up in a cold sweat and goes outside. Name comes out after him. She asks if he heard the Creator.
Will he help us?
He's going to destroy the world.
The mountain that Noah saw in his dream is the place where his grandfather Methuselah lives. The man gathers his family and sets out on a journey. They find an abandoned Sohar mine and a bunch of dead people. Suddenly, they hear the voice of a girl calling for her father. Shem finds a wounded Elah, and Name starts treating the girl's injury. But the adversaries who did this notice them and return. Noah grabs the girl, and they flee into the Black Wastelands, a land forbidden to humans. Noah stays behind to hold off the pursuers, when suddenly a creature, a stone giant, rises up behind him. It knocks the man to the ground. Noah wakes up in the middle of a deep pit surrounded by his family. The Watchers come out to them, and Noah explains that he's looking for his grandfather, Methuselah. The Watcher, Semyaza, scolds his comrade, Og, for sparing the humans. In his opinion, they all deserve death because they have betrayed the Creator. Noah claims that it was God who sent him to this land, but Semyaza doesn't believe him. He orders that Noah's family be left to die in the pit, and the giants leave. At night, Elah has trouble sleeping, and she asks Noah to sing her a song. The man reveals that he too lost his father early, and then fulfills her request. The girl falls asleep, and Name says that the wound will prevent Elah from having children. Suddenly, Og approaches them and calls them to go after him. He helps the family get out and tells the story of the Watchers. They were created out of light on the 2nd day. The Watchers admired Adam and Eve, such fragile but loving creatures. It was hard for them to watch humans being expelled from paradise.
It was not our place to interfere, yet we chose to try and help.
They disobeyed the Creator and were punished for it. Their light was imprisoned in stone and mud. The Watchers helped people to survive and gain power, but this power quickly turned into cruelty, and people began exterminating the Watchers. Only Noah's grandfather, Methuselah, stood up for them. Using his sword of fire, he scorched the earth to destroy the army of Cain's descendants. Now the few surviving Watchers wander this black wasteland. The Creator doesn't hear their pleas to return them to heaven. That's why Semyaza doesn't believe that God still speaks to the people he himself banished from paradise. But Og sees in Noah the radiance that came from Adam, so he cannot just stand by. Soon they reach Methuselah's green mountain. Noah and Shem climb it and see the old man. They enter the cave where Methuselah warmly introduces himself to his great-grandson. After the conversation, he puts his finger on the boy's forehead, and he immediately falls asleep. The old man already knows why Noah came. His father, Enoch, predicted the destruction of the world. Methuselah pours tea for his grandson and asks if the catastrophe can be prevented. Noah replies that it's impossible. The Creator is firmly determined to punish mankind. The water will bring death, but also new life. And Noah must do something, but he doesn't know what yet. Methuselah agrees, and Noah realizes that his grandfather has added something to his drink. He sinks back into his dreams, and the cave sinks beneath the water. The remains of tea turn into a seed, which floats to the top. Noah follows it with his gaze and notices a boat above him, while thousands of animals begin to swim around. He wakes up and reveals to his grandfather that water is meant to cleanse the world of filth and sin, and then the Creator will build it anew. Noah realizes that he must survive the worldwide flood. Methuselah blesses him and gives him a seed from the Garden of Eden. Noah returns to his family and tells them that God has decided to punish people for what they have done to the world, but their family has a special mission.
We've been chosen to save the innocent.
The innocent?
The father replies that only animals are innocent. Him doesn't understand why. Elah explains that the animals have not changed and continue to live as they did in the Garden of Eden. To save them, they will build a huge ship, an ark. Noah goes out into the wasteland and plants the seed of Eden in the ground. In the morning, Noah is awakened by a noise. Og is dragged away by his brothers, accusing him of betrayal. The man shouts after them to help him fulfill the Creator's will.
We tried to help your kind once, and we lost everything because of you.
Semyaza is angry and raises his arm at the man, but then water begins to gush out of the lifeless earth. It was there that Noah had planted the seed. Along with the water, plants immediately begin to sprout, turning the wasteland into a dense forest. This convinces the Watchers to help Noah. As the years passed, water flowed all over the earth, attracting animals to drink from the stream and head to its source. There, at the foot of the mountain, Noah and the Watchers are building the Great Ark. Already grown up, Shem and Elah are running around in the woods. They're in love. The boy kisses the girl on the stomach, but she stops him when he gets close to her scar. Lonely Hem peeks at his older brother, and Shem chases him away. Suddenly, thousands of birds fly over them, and the young men return to the ark. There, Noah tells the grown-up Japheth that this is a sign. A storm is about to begin. The birds fly inside the ship and take their places. Name burns herbs, and the smoke puts the birds to sleep. Noah shows Japheth that there are two of each kind of bird, a male and a female. They will have offspring that will repopulate the new world. Hem listens anxiously to their conversation. Afterward, he approaches his father and asks what will happen to him after the flood.
You have mother, Shem, as Elah. What of me?
Even birds have pairs, but he and his younger brother will not have any. Noah tells him to be humble. The Creator will give him everything he needs. At this moment, they are frightened by the countless snakes and insects that crawl past them, also becoming passengers on the ark. Later, Hem and Japheth see unfamiliar women in the forest. Suddenly, a man with a weapon jumps out at the boys, but an unknown old man gets rid of the attacker. His entourage comes out after him. As Japheth runs to his father, the man introduces himself as King Tubal-Cain. Hem replies that there can be no king in the Creator's garden. The man grins and offers him his battle hammer, stained with blood. The boy takes it in his hands and leads everyone to his father. Noah meets them and orders his son to drop the hammer and move away from the old man. Tubal-Cain stops Hem, calling him his best soldier. He has determined this by the way the boy holds the hammer, but Hem obeys his father. Tubal-Cain has come to see where the animals are going and mistakes the ship for a tower. Noah explains that it's an ark that is meant to save the innocent from the flood. The king doesn't believe in miracles and insists that the Creator doesn't care about their world. He has cursed Cain and condemned his children to perpetual fight for survival. However, the king will do anything for his people. Noah realizes that his father's murderer is in front of him. He declares that he is a descendant of Seth and demands that Cain's men leave. The Watchers stand beside the man, instilling fear in the uninvited guests. Their king urges them not to be afraid, but now he believes Noah's words. Tubal-Cain declares that he will return with an army and seize Noah's Ark for his people. He goes into the forest where he sets up a camp and orders the warriors to get prepared. Suddenly, animals pass by them, entering the ark in slender rows and falling asleep afterwards. Soon Elah approaches Noah and tearfully tells him that Shem needs another woman to continue his lineage.
Why would the Creator want a barren girl on his ark?
Noah stops the girl and says that she is a priceless gift sent to them by God. Elah embraces her foster father, but still asks him to find a new wife for Shem. To do this, Noah secretly visits Tubal-Cain's village. He notices that hungry men are stealing women and children to trade them for meat. Live goats are thrown over the fence to the crowds, and the men tear them apart. Noah recalls his dream and sees fire destroying the settlement. In the morning, Noah returns to the ark and upsets Hem with the news that they will not have wives. The son protests, and his father pushes him away. Hem runs off into the forest. Elah follows after him. Noah tells his wife that their family is also flawed. Nahmeh reassures him that their sons will make good fathers.
Good up, boys. Shem's loyalty, Japheth's kindness, Ham's integrity.
The sullen man replies that Shem is consumed with lust. Hem is envious, and Japheth lives only to please. Noah himself is no better. For the sake of his sons, he and his wife are ready to do almost any act of evil. Foolishness and pride drive those who think they are better than others. Noah decides that they deserve the same fate as Cain's descendants. They will complete the ark and perish. Nahmeh disagrees and heads to Methuselah. She asks for help, but the elder replies that he cannot interfere. It's up to Noah to decide their future. Nahmeh insists that there is more good in her sons than evil. Meanwhile, Hem makes his way to the village, but stumbles and falls into a pit of bodies. Inside, he finds a living girl and gives her food. The stranger is distrustful and is ready to fight back with a rock. The girl is too scared and doesn't want to escape from the pit. Hem offers to stay by her side. She introduces herself as Nael. Noah orders Shem to bring the runaways back. In the meantime, Elah comes across Methuselah in the forest. The old man asks her to help him find berries, and the girl agrees. Methuselah wants to know if she loves her foster family. Elah replies that she is grateful for being saved and regards them as family. Methuselah agrees that she is also kin to him and gives Elah his blessing. He touches her belly, and the girl squirms in pain. As the pain subsides, she hears Shem calling for her. Methuselah tells the girl to go to him. Elah runs as fast as she can and throws herself into her lover's arms in a burst of passion. Soon the sky grows dark, and the first drop of rain announces the beginning of the flood. Hem pulls Nael out of the pit, and Tubal-Cain cries out to God.
I give life. I take life away. As you do.
He shoots into the sky, demanding an answer, but the Creator doesn't respond. The king turns to the soldiers and leads them into battle with the Watchers. Elah and Shem return to the ark without him, and the father sets out to find him. Hem is close. He's running through the forest with Nael, but the girl's foot gets caught in a trap. The boy frees his friend, but the soldiers are already closing in on them. Noah finds his son and drags him away, leaving Nael to die under the enemy's boots. Hem and Noah lose each other in the crowd of running soldiers, who are engaging the Watchers. The father and son make it to the ark, and Tubal-Cain shoots Semyaza with a sohar. The king thrusts his spear into the stone giant and drops him to the ground. Semyaza dies under the blows, and the light is released from his chest, flying up into the sky. The rest of the Watchers see that their imprisonment is over, and the Creator is ready to welcome them back to heaven. They rush into battle with renewed vigor and wound Tubal-Cain. The man sees an opportunity to climb up the side of the ark and crawls there. Other soldiers burst through the main entrance, and Noah engages them in battle. He is fighting alone, but there are too many enemies, so Shem comes out to help his father. Noah orders him to hide inside and returns to the fight. He sees that all the Watchers, except for Og, have already been defeated.
Goodbye, son of Adam.
The last fallen angel sacrifices himself in the battle against the enemies. Immediately afterward, columns of water erupt from the ground, washing away the surviving soldiers and creating a flood. Methuselah finds a berry in the forest and humbly accepts his fate. A wave washes away everything in its path, submerging the ark. Tubal-Cain cuts a hole for himself, through which he climbs in. Hem notices this, but doesn't stop the old man. Noah finds himself underwater, but he manages to hang on and resurface along with the ship. He goes into the ark while the people continue to crawl over the rocks and flounder outside. Elah and Shem beg to save at least some of them, but the father insists they don't belong here. The family fires up the stove and gathers for dinner. Noah understands that they are judging him for his cruelty. He tells the family about the creation of the world in 7 days. Everything was in balance until God created man and woman. and gave them freedom of choice. They chose to give in to the temptation of darkness and lost the Creator's light. Sin has lived in every human being ever since. But after the Great Flood, everything will come back into balance, and there will be no human beings to disrupt it. They will be the end of the human race. Noah addresses the older children.
You will bury your mother and I. Ham, we'll bury them.
Japheth will lay Ham to rest and will be the last man on earth. Noah says he is sorry for Ham's dead friend, but their sacred mission is more important than anything else. The son leaves without saying anything. He comes to Tubal-Cain, who lives among snakes and reptiles. The boy continues to feed the old man and shelter him from Noah. He hasn't forgiven his father for Nael's death. Him helps him treat his wound, and afterward sees the old man eat a sleeping lizard. The boy is shocked and says that all these miracles have occurred to save the animals. Tubal-Cain replies that it's not humans who should serve the beasts, but the other way around. And how can Noah justify the death of so many children who also knew no sin, just like the animals? God created humans in his own image to rule, not to obey. The old man offers him to subjugate the world. One night, Elah wakes up covered in sweat. Nameh examines her and realizes that Methuselah has healed the girl, and she is now pregnant. Elah cries with joy, but Nameh grows grim. Noah will be against it. They tell the father the truth, and the man cannot believe it. Nameh confesses that she asked the grandfather to give them a chance to continue the lineage. Noah yells at his wife, blaming her for all the sacrifices now being in vain. For the sake of the Creator's will, he will have to kill his grandchild. Unable to bear such burden, Noah runs out onto the deck and calls out to the sky.
Please! I cannot do this. Tell me I don't need to do this.
But God doesn't answer, and the man decides that he will go to the end. At the same moment, the rain stops, and Noah takes this as a sign. The family goes out to see their father. Elah thinks that the Creator has sent them a blessing, but Noah upsets them by stating the opposite. If she has a boy, he will be the last man on earth, and if the baby is a girl, death awaits her. Him is once again disappointed in his father, and for the first time, Shem openly confronts him, but nothing helps.
If you should bear a girl, in the moment of her birth, I will cut her.
Months later, Elah feels she is about to give birth. She and Shem pack their things, wishing to sail away from Noah on a raft. A crow released by Japheth returns to the ship. Its talons are clean. It hasn't found land. Nameh tries to convince the children to stay, but Elah is determined to set sail today. Nameh then tries to convince her husband not to murder the child, begging him to punish her instead. Noah doesn't listen to anybody. He must make sure that people don't inhabit the earth again. Nameh says that Noah will lose everyone close to him if he doesn't stop. She followed him to the end and forgave him for everything, but she will not forgive him for this.
And you will die alone, not just alone, but hated by everyone you love.
Meanwhile, Tubal-Cain doesn't want to let Elah sail away either, and tells him to lure Noah to him. He gives him a knife just in case. The boy hesitates, and the old man reminds him that Noah didn't spare his woman, and now he's going to take away his family's future. Men do not live by the will of heaven, but by their own. He asks if him considers himself a man. The boy nods affirmatively. If that's true, he will be capable of murder. Elah and Shem say goodbye to Nameh, but Noah comes out and sets fire to the raft with Sohar. Shem screams at his father, and Elah's water suddenly breaks. Nameh takes her away while Shem grabs his weapon. He glares angrily at his father, but him distracts Noah. He says the animals are awake and attacking each other. Noah goes down and finds an animal's body. Tubal-Cain attacks him with a hammer. Hem, meanwhile, stands in a stupor, not daring to intervene. Noah gets the upper hand and begins to strangle his opponent. Elah's baby is born, and Shem approaches his beloved. However, the girl continues to scream in pain. She has twins. Nameh bitterly announces that they are twin sisters. Shem promises that Noah will not hurt them and runs away. Tubal-Cain bites Noah's arm and frees himself from his grip. He knocks the man to the ground and prepares to strike, but just then the ark is tossed violently to the side. Everyone falls as the ship hits the rocks. Noah gets up first and goes to finish his opponent. Shem prevents him from doing so by attacking his father from behind. Tubal-Cain gets up and throws Shem aside, wanting to kill Noah with his own hands. He raises a stone, saying he will build a new world in his own image. Suddenly, him plunges a knife into the old man's back.
Now, you are a man.
Before he dies, Tubal-Cain gives Lamech's snakeskin to the boy. Noah rises, stating that they certainly can't expect the Creator's mercy now. Him reminds his father of Nael, who was innocent and kind. Noah hurries off to find his grandchildren. Name lies that Elah had a boy, but her husband sees right through her. After learning that there are 2 children, Noah climbs with a knife to the roof of the ark, where Elah is hiding. Name cries out that God has given them what they need to continue living. Elah meets her father, begging to be allowed to at least calm her crying daughters before they die. She sings to them the lullaby that Noah sang to her the day they rescued her. The twins fall asleep, and Noah asks Elah to turn away, but she wants to hold them until their last breath. Noah draws his blade, but at the last moment, only kisses his granddaughter on the forehead. He drops the knife and turns to the sky. This he cannot do. Elah and Name cry from happiness. Shem runs to his wife, and a white dove with an olive branch flies over them. It has found land. The ark docks on an island with a green mountain. Noah lives alone in a cave where he drinks wine constantly to soothe his thoughts. He has failed to fulfill the divine will and succumbed to weakness. He deemed his sinful family more worthy of life than all others. At this time, Ham watches as his brother builds a house for his family. He takes the snakeskin and goes to his father. Noah, naked and drunk, lies unconscious on the shore. Shem leads Japheth to cover his father and help him up. Out of respect, they try not to look at him in this state. Ham, on the other hand, doesn't take his eyes off his father's disgrace. Noah meets Ham's gaze, but the latter merely tosses him a bag of snakeskin and walks away. The boy is about to leave his family forever. Elah asks him to stay, but Ham says he's a stranger here. The brother hopes that Elah's offspring will learn kindness from her. Later, Noah approaches the girl. She asks why he spared her daughters. The father replies that he had only love in his heart for them. But then, why did Noah leave his family and become a hermit? The man blames himself. On his shoulders lay the fate of not only people, but the whole world. He failed. But Elah disagrees. Maybe this was the Creator's plan all along.
Because he put it there. He asked you to decide if we were worth saving.
Noah chose mercy, so he and all people can have a second chance. They can live their lives differently, without making the mistakes of the past. Noah listens, and afterward approaches Name. The wife tearfully welcomes her husband back. She has been waiting for him. Afterward, Noah gathers his family and shows them the skin of the serpent. He wraps it around his hand and blesses his granddaughters to start a new civilization. The heavens light up with a rainbow-like glow that spreads over the world. According to the film's writer, producer, and director, Darren Aronofsky, the design of the Watchers was based on 3 images: 6 winged seraphim angels, a seagull trapped in oil, and ballet dancers with blocks attached to their feet. These are angelic forms captured, malformed, and imprisoned by the earth. Winged creatures who had to use their wings as arms and legs. He added, they filmed so many takes for the Elah and Shem kissing scene that Emma Watson's lips started bleeding at some point, and Douglas Booth ended up with a sore nose. As always, look for the name of the movie in the video description. In the meantime, let us know in the comments, what biblical stories impress you the most? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like, so that more awesome stories come out as often as possible.